Hello everyone, in today's video we're going to be talking about a tease, I would guess, from Zeekers, the developer of Lethal Company, about the upcoming update he's been working on for the game, and how it's going to add a creature that is really powerful, potentially the most powerful in the game ever. We're going to be on PC Gamer today, as well as his Twitter, Zeekers' Twitter that is. This is written by Kara Phillips. Thank you for the article. It'll be linked down in the description below if you would like to check it out for yourself. The title goes, the most powerful creature in the game is about to be unleashed into Lethal Company as part of its first update in months. This can only go well. I mean, I agree. It can only go well. Lethal Company has a special place, I think, in most gamers' hearts because it really did bring in the co-op horror game vibe again in about a few years ago at this point. And honestly, there's still nothing like it in my opinion. There is still Lethal Company still has a special place for me personally, and even though I personally am not very good at the game, it's still very fun to play and play all the different moons and all that good stuff. And I'm kind of glad that Zeekers is back to updating it because he did take a break from it. He worked on a different game for a little bit and now he's back at this, and it's a nice feeling to see that he's working on Lethal Company again. Just before we get deeper into the arc, I'd like to remind everyone, please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. Once we do, I'll be doing a Q&A video, so if you're interested in that, please subscribe. Whispers of Lethal Company's first update in months has been circling for a while now, but it seems like we're getting a lot closer to a release date after the devs shared some new information about its content. Developer Zeekers has been hinting towards what exact on social media, saying in April that he was sitting on a new update but wanted to spend more time on it to add new creatures or two. Now the creature in question has been confirmed with a few behavioral details as well. So this is the tweet by Zeekers. The new creature is technically maybe the most powerful creature in the game and has power easily goes to its head. Sometimes it does things that make absolutely no sense just because it can. I wonder if this is also a nod to the fact that it could just be a gigantic head. There is a gigantic head enemy in Repo, and I'm not saying that he's ripping anything off, but like a big head enemy is actually something that Lethal Company doesn't have yet. Arguably, I guess the Nutcrackers are probably the ones with the bigger heads, but they don't really have that big of a head. Maybe the robots? Not really, actually. They don't really have big heads either. Yeah, honestly, most of the enemies don't have big heads, so I wonder if this is like him trying to hint at the fact that it's a really big headed enemy, or if it is literal in how like the coding in the game, like the creature is designed to be just sporadic and unpredictable, which would be fun. One of the things about Lethal Company enemies is they are predictable in a way of like you can learn their patterns and figure out how to deal with them, which is also like a benefit, but figuring out how to deal with an unpredictable enemy would be very interesting in my opinion, at least. I'm also kind of curious what the update is other than just this new creature. I'd be totally down for new environments and stuff like that. I think one of the more interesting things about Lethal Company is the early game does feel a little samey. It'd be kind of cool if we had more interiors and stuff like that, or if there were, I don't know about more moons, but I think the different interiors would definitely be a big beneficial, especially for players like me who aren't very good, and even though the groups I play with can be very good, we don't hit late game stuff very often, so it would be nice to see different interiors in the earlier game, only because I feel like that's what the majority of players only see. Like, it's hard to get to the later game. I don't think you should make it easier. I think the getting to the later moons should be just as difficult, but I do think that the earlier moons could use some work. But it shouldn't also be too confusing for newer players, because I mean there are hopefully going to be still newer players to the Lethal Company as well. It's a hard thing to balance, but I'm sure he can do it. With no pics or art for the creature, it's hard to anticipate what exactly this brief description means or prepare for how to avoid it at least, but because it sounds like it'll be a real pain when it is unleashed into the game. The company is already home to a bunch of monsters I try to avoid at all costs. This is definitely going to the top of the list. Yeah, I mean, if it is actually unpredictable, it's going to be really hard. It's going to be interesting to see how it is going to be seen. The more details description of this creature does feel like we are slowly crawling towards a release date for the update too. Once again, no information on what exactly will be shared. Going back to what Zeker said in April, we might even get some details on a second creature before any sort of release window. It's true. He did say one or two. And even though a new creature is exciting, I am also very interested in like the other things, like if there's going to be new items being added or if there are new environments being added. I'm just super interested in stuff like that. And I wonder if they're going to expand in the lore of the game as well, because the lore is actually relatively in-depth and there is things you can learn about each of the creatures and stuff like that. It'll be interesting to see if they expand on that as well. This will be the first update Lethal Company has received since December 2024, so it's no surprise a little more time and care is being taken to make something more worthwhile before all creature information. The upcoming update exclusively targets interiors, so it's nice to see a little more life being added to keep us on our toes. It's true. I mean, did it only? I thought it added one enemy, like the guy with the knife. Didn't he add the enemy with the knife in the last update? Or am I thinking of was that 2 updates ago? Maybe that was 2 updates ago. I swear there was the knife enemy, but he doesn't show very often, to be fair. So I guess that is true. The knife enemy was the last one added, if I remember correctly, and the other robot enemy is basically only on the secret moon. So you don't see that a lot. And honestly, the secret moon, even though it's cool, it doesn't seem very worthwhile to go to, at least from what I can tell. But you never know. I'm really interested to see this new creature, or if it's going to be 2 new creatures, or we don't even know. It could be 2 new creatures. Like, the tweet doesn't necessarily, like, the new creature, I guess the new creature is singular. It'd be kind of interesting that both of the creatures are similar, or, like, they're technically the same, but different. It'll be interesting to see what they do with that, or what he does with that. I do hope that interiors are also updated as well, because it's just be nice to see the interiors in Lethal Company updated. And new items are cool, but I don't want the game to be too bloated with that type of stuff. So I feel like there's a safe balance between what you want more stuff added in, but you don't want too much stuff. But then again, I feel like I don't think that's really a problem. There are a lot of items in Lethal Company that are purely there for funny purposes, and things that happen are just for funnies and stuff like that. So I mean, honestly, maybe the more is better just in general. The lore stuff I would be super interested in, but I really do hope Zeekers keeps working on the game after this. I mean, I hope so. I mean, it was super successful. He took a break from it to work on a different game, and he's back working on Lethal Company, which is very exciting because Lethal Company is a very fun game. And even though games like Repo and stuff like that have they have a different feel for it, Lethal Company still, in my opinion, is generally, I would say it's still probably the best one in my opinion when it comes to these types of games, even if it is technically the most limited one, because like you don't really fight back against the creatures, and it's not like Repo where you have stats almost. I mean, you can like your strength stat and stuff like that, so like it is technically the most simple, but I feel like that's also a benefit. So I really am interested to see what they add. I'm also going to be more interested in how we can fight them, because I mean, you got the shovel, you have the shotgun from the nutcrackers eventually, and you have the grenade, you have the flashbang. It'll be interesting to see if Zeekers does add more ways to fight back, but I do think running away should be like the main way to deal with the creatures, running and hiding and stuff like that. But I do feel like more ways to fight back when you can, or at least to delay them or something like that, something more like the flashbang or the grenade or something like that. I think that'd be really cool. And now that I actually said that out loud, you don't actually really hide from the enemies too much. It's mostly running away. There isn't a lot of hiding to do. I wonder if Zeekers could add like more open spaces or things, like for instance like Repo, where you can hide under things or hide under, over, and stuff like that. I wonder if the Lethal Company can work like that, because there isn't really hiding mechanics. I mean, there is stealth, but like you don't really hide from enemies. It's mostly a runaway type of game. So it'll be interesting to see if the new update will add something like that. I doubt it. That one is definitely less likely, because I feel like part of the fun for Lethal Company is the running away part. And it'll be interesting to see if Zeekers is influenced from all the other games that are coming out that are in this genre of game now. And I'm interested to see what he thinks is right, because I mean, I'll trust his opinion. He made it, and he's pretty much made good decisions since then, and I trust his opinions and decision making on the game and what he feasibly thinks he can do and will be good for the game. So I really hope this update is coming soon, and he needs to take as much time as he needs. People will play, tons of people still play Lethal Company, and we all have the other games as well. And when this update hits, I'll be jumping in and playing and enjoying it. Thank you everyone for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I really appreciate it when you do. If you liked the video, like it. If you disliked it, dislike it. I understand. You just heard my opinion. I would love to hear your opinion down in the comments below. If you're excited for this Lethal Company update, what your speculations on the new monster are, if you're excited for other things than just the monster, or if you've never played Lethal Company and maybe you'll buy it. It's a pretty cheap game too. I would say you should buy it as long as you got a couple people to play with. It is a very hard game to play solo. You do need friends. That is the hardest thing about Lethal Company. Friends are required. If you'd like to follow me on other social media platforms, I have a Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Threads, all at the Techno Jelly. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Goodbye everyone.